Hey, this is Fred Meyer with WP Shout here for the next in our WP no code build videos. So we have our site to this point. Last time we got a contact form working and did some cleanup on this FAQ section design-wise, changed a little bit about fonts. Now I'm going to do a couple things. The first one is I finally want to change out this sample logo, which I'm finding a little bit distracting. And so I have gone ahead and designed a logo for the site. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how I did that. I will tell you that I used, just simply because this isn't really a graphic design like tutorial, and I'm not a graphic designer, and I'm not saying that the logo I built is so incredible. I did it in Canva, which is a design service that has like a logo thing, so I kind of started with this and ended up with this, and I think it looks pretty good. One thing I did do is I went ahead and got the 30-day free trial of Canva Pro, because to be able to download with a transparent background, you need to be doing that, and I just didn't want to figure out how to like get the white background out of this, and it always kind of leaves a little bit of a residue. So I got the 30-day pro free trial for Canva, and that let me download this as a transparent thing. And then I sort of cleaned it up in this in the new image manipulation program, and we're left with this. So okay, given that we've got our actual logo, how are we gonna load it up? Well, that's a job for the customizer. And in Astra, that's in the header section, site identity. Okay, so we're going to first change the logo at the main width. We're going to have to upload the file I created, which is this. We'll give it some alt text, WP no code, create WordPress sites without coding knowledge. Sure, something like that. Actually, I'm going to flip that so that the description comes first. That comes next. Okay, so we're going to choose this image. So it wants us to crop this thing. It's saying, oh, our desired dimensions are this. We're going to skip cropping, meaning, no, it's the dimensions that we said. But what does that give us? It gives us this giant, hideous logo, right? Well, fortunately, and I'm going to go ahead and just uncheck this. This is going to be the logo for Retina devices as well. If that means it comes out a little bit blurry, Retina devices basically have twice the resolution of a normal device. So you would need to actually have something that's twice the size of the space it's in for it to look fully crisp on a Retina device. I'm not too worried about that. So I'm just going to uncheck this thing. I'm also going to leave the logo the same for mobile devices. Now we need to set the logo width. What I'd really like to do is set the logo height. What height am I willing to deal with? But we're just going to have to do it by width and just sort of eyeball it. So 120 looks okay. Let's just see what 100 would look like. Probably a little too small. 140 is still... So what we don't want is we don't want this thing, bumping the rest of everything down. And it looks like we can get away with 140 and still not do that. But I feel like 120 is a little better. It's not so loud. It's not so in your face. So I think I like 120. And let's start with that. Still looks fine on a tablet to me. Yeah, and on a phone, I think that looks pretty good. All right. So we'll go ahead and publish that. And let's just see how it's looking on the other end. That looks pretty good. It might be a little small, actually. I wonder if we just said 130. Yeah, it's a little... Oh, that was 140. 130. Or maybe 125. Let's try that. And I'm just going to do another tab so I can compare. Yeah, I think I like this. I think I like 125, so we're going to leave it. Cool. Okay, site icon. So we need a site icon or it's gonna use the, well, once we actually launch this at wpnocode.com, it'll just won't have a site icon. But right now it's continuing to use the WP Shout fav icon. So what can we do about that? So it wants 512 by 512, huh? That seems larger than we need. So I'm just gonna go ahead and copy all this, create a new file, paste this in, delete the background layer so we're just left with like a transparent layer. And I'm gonna want a square canvas. But first let's just delete all this other stuff. Okay. Cropped content. So it's 91 by 61. Let's just say canvas size is 91 by 91. We're going to center everything, resize it. I'm going to zoom out. Yeah, let's see how this looks. So if I save this, okay, WP no code site icon, let's see. So I saved it as a PNG. I don't know if the theme is going to be cool with that or not. So I'm just gonna, because usually a fav icon has file type .ico. So let's just see if it likes this. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. Skip cropping. Publish that and let's see if, see? Looks good. It almost looks like the, it looks quite a bit like the MasterCard logo, but whatever. Yeah, I like this. Good. So that worked. Site title, WP no code. All right. No code worked. Good. So I think that's pretty much that for the logo. All right. What else do we need to do? I'm going to go ahead and just take this testimonials page off the nav entirely. For now, at least. So we're going to go menus, menu, testimonials, remove, publish that change. So now we got home, about, blog, and watch demos. I'm going to, so I wrote some copy for the first blog post, so I'm going to fill that in and delete all the other blog posts. All the like sample ones that came with the theme. So how I selected all of those is I clicked the first one, held down shift, and then clicked the last one. That's how I did that. So the first thing we have to do is move to the trash. Now we have to go to the trash, can select everything this time, delete permanently. Whoops, and I just hit enter twice. So I said delete permanently, and then I hit enter again, which resubmitted, and that's why I got that error. But anyway, okay, those are all deleted. WP no code is live. I want it to be in a category other than uncategorized. I also, of course, hate these, sample categories they gave us. So I am going to delete all of them. Okay, and how about we make a category called announcements or news. Sure. I guess. Whatever. That's fine. Okay. Add new category, news. All right. Now we're going to go to all posts. I'm going to quick edit this one. Goes in news. It doesn't go in uncategorized. That way, the blog section doesn't have that awkward uncategorized thing right here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and edit this. Again, my preference is to, okay, we're going to edit this post. We're going to delete WordPress's sample comment. And also I saw some black text on comments are closed, okay. I'm going to leave that for now, and I'm just going to grab this text from my little text editor that I use. But you could, you could grab it from Notepad or an email or something. But if you do that and you paste in, toggle this to get a longer thing, and I think paste as text you're going to want to do. Basically, it's saying, please don't bring a bunch of code along with you that's going to mess up how this looks. So you would want to toggle paste. Yeah, paste is now in plain text mode. So you'd want to do that if you're pasting in from Microsoft Word or something like that. Okay, but since it was already in text mode, I'm going to just uncheck that. And let's just update the post. There's no reason to hesitate on that. Let's see how it came out. Good, so these long dash, so this triple dash, WordPress will, and this is only as of maybe a year ago, but WordPress will interpret these triple dashes as an M dash, which is this long dash here. Okay, and I know that I didn't want to cheat and use the HTML code for italics, so I just did these underscores. So I'm going to go in and italicize those. Oh, and I'm going to copy the link for WP Shout and just link this up, except it should be HTTPS. Okay. I'm going to link it again. All right. Now, is this 15 pixels or 16? It seems like the font is a little bit small, so I'm curious. Oh, right, no code. Okay, how do I tell the font size here? This technically is not code, actually. If you hit the inspector and go computed, no, I guess this technically is code. All right, well, I guess what I'm gonna have to do is go into the customizer. And I shouldn't have so many customizer tabs open at the same time since they all do the same thing. And we're gonna go to global typography, base typography. And I just wanna make sure that this really is 16 pixels. So I'm gonna say 17. And did it change anything? Yes. If I say 16, it goes back to, okay. So this really is 16 pixels. It seemed a little bit small to me, so I just wanted to double check that. Okay, there's one comment which we wanna get rid of. And do we want to allow comments on the site in general? I would say yes. Okay, so we're not seeing the comments here, right? And this is a kind of a weird thing about WordPress. These screen options, depending on a lot of stuff, these things could either be open or closed. You could either be able to see them or not see them. So I'm going to go ahead and just open up these two, the discussion and the comments things. And let's show our comments. I'm going to go ahead and trash this one. Allow comments, update. Now I've got a comment field. WP no code is live. I'm a little creeped out by like these giant white margins, but I think I can live with it. I think it makes sense design-wise. It's probably not what I would have done, but I think it looks fine. So I'm going to live with it. So now what do we got? We got a blog with one actual blog post with real content. And you can see we have a search field and a news category and a recent post. And I just want to verify that the search works properly. Good. So it brings back about, I'm not sure what this is about. Oh, this must be, yeah, this is maybe a page that I already edited. And so the fact that like the search is bringing back like pages that we don't want means that I'm going to want to trash a bunch of pages so that we don't have to think about them. And so that they don't get indexed by Google and all this stuff. So this is taking a long time. So I'm just going to go over here. I am unfortunately, by the way, doing this right now on a phone's wireless. So things may be slow. Yet don't want blog Gutenberg or hire me or testimonials. So I'm just going to go ahead and move those to the trash. Cool. So we're good. right. All right. This looks pretty good. Now this is not capitalized and this is. I'm going to see which one looks better. Yeah, I think I like that. Let's try it the other way. Oops, I just accidentally duplicated that. Didn't mean to do that. About and contact. No, I definitely don't like that. Whoops, I keep hitting the wrong thing. WordPress without code. All right. It makes it a little more conspicuous, which I'm not crazy about, but whatever. I don't think people's attention is gonna like get sucked into this little thing. So, all right, so now we need to make the homepage look halfway decent. And I don't know, this homepage looks kind of like flashy and designed to me, which is cool. Not sure I really want that, but I'm not going to delete this just yet because it would be kind of a pain to get back, possibly. I mean, we could just go back in the revision browser, but I'm going to leave this for a second to see if I want to use it. And pretty sure I don't want this 1, 2, 3, 4 thing, so I am going to delete that. It would be kind of nice to have this section on a white background. Everything is very, very, very blue on this site. So I think I'm just gonna start by working on this in this row that has a white background and black text. And now, why is it in fact white? I'm just gonna go ahead and close Beaver Builder. See, it's not full width for some reason. So it must be the module itself that's white, perhaps, or no? Oh, it's, okay. I'm gonna open Beaver Builder back up. So let's just say 800 pixels. Okay, so if it's 800, then the white section gets all the, yeah, so it's the, okay. So the contents of the row have a white background. So I'm gonna actually say that, well, I do want the content width to stay fixed. So I'm gonna say that the row itself has a white background. And the way you say white is the letter F 6 times. All right. Whoops, I did not mean to make that 800 though. So let me see what the width is on the other. Is it 1200 or 1100? 1200, okay. So we'll put this back out to 1200. Actually, I'm just gonna delete it so it goes to the default. You can see those gray letters are the default. And the default is 1200. All right. Okay. So many headings in this theme, but that, okay, in this case we do want a heading. Well, but I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put a text editor in here. Not sure why everything is highlighted like that, so I'm just gonna publish, reload. Okay, yeah, I'm not sure what that was. So, you know, a lot of the, just like with anything, like a lot of the time if you run into trouble, you just kind of reload the page and don't think too hard about it. So maybe I want this text thing to actually be here. And I do want it to be an H2. I think that's fine. But I just don't need, well, and let's see the spacing on this thing. So we'll go to advanced. So it's got a 15 pixel top margin. That's fine. So we'll give this a 15 pixel top margin. But yeah, I just don't need this header as its own thing. So we've got our H2. And you can see we can actually just start typing in line, which is really nice. But I do actually want to be working over here in this WordPress style editor. So this is some content I put together. That, okay. And I intended this to be a list, so I'm just gonna do that. Okay, so you see that it's not interpreting the triple dash as an M dash this time, because we're not in WordPress's actual post editor, we're in like the Beaver Builder version of that. So I'm just gonna have to take a quick detour here and grab that dash, Control C for copy, come back here and select this, Control Shift V for paste without bringing over any like code that, any formatting code. Control Shift V means just paste the letter, but not, you know, if it's red, don't keep the fact that it's red, just keep the letter itself. Okay. Subscribe to my newsletter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this entire section, I think. This entire row. In fact, all of these rows. Don't need these. All right. And again, it's sort of awkward that, you know, we've got these H6 tags out of order. That's not great for accessibility. It's not great for SEO. But for the time being, I'm going to live with it. So what should this say? Get, you know, assemble a WordPress site the right way. Too long. WordPress done right. Sure, that's fine. And then what are we trying to say here? A beautiful website without a line of code. Nice, that actually makes it under one line at 1200 pixels, so that's good. It can be done, but you'll have to be smart. Sure. Okay. So I like, you know, blue. I like a little bit of alternation, blue, white. And in fact, I mean, everything is so blue on this site. I'm gonna I think I'm gonna play with that alternation with this, with the contact us section. So because the entire site background is blue, I actually have to go out of my way to make this background white. And then you see how we've got this blue space up here that we're worried about? Well, that's because it's margins. So this is a great time to tell you the difference between margins and padding. Padding is inside an element, margins is outside an element. So if we give it 80 pixels of top padding, that top padding is white. If we give it 80 pixels of top margin, that top margin is blue, because it's the blue of anything that's not inside this element. And so that actually lets us not have this be any color at all. And that kind of solves our problem from earlier where we had to worry about the colors on the contact form. Let's just see how it comes out looking. Maybe I didn't save my changes. Whoops. So row settings, background is a color. The color is white. Yeah, it looks like it didn't save properly for some reason. So we're just going to do that. What is going on? Okay, well, we'll make the color red then, which is of course hideous. Oh, I think I, for some reason, I don't know. I haven't had breakfast yet, so I think I didn't remember to actually hit save when I made that change. So the change was just being lost. Whoops. So color is white. We have saved our change this time. Now we publish. Whoops. That's good. The only issue is a little bit of awkwardness going on here. Let me just look at the home page and see if I can get any design inspiration here. I wonder, let's see if we can put some padding or margins. It doesn't matter in this case. Let's see if we can put some space on this row and have it still look good. I don't think we need the top space, but I think we need the bottom space. So let's see if we can, let's see if that looks decent or if it looks unbalanced. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to be... Maybe I'll add the top space back on and see if it looks good. No, I really don't like the top space. It's like, it's awkward. So we're going to get rid of that again. Now we have, let's just say one. I mean, that's kind of stupid, but let's just give it a try. So we have 1 pixel of bottom margin. So there's essentially a blue line. It's like having a bottom border, and it looks horrible. So, well, it doesn't look horrible, but it does look kind of silly. It like creates like sort of a depth that we don't want. It like creates like a, yeah. Let me just try it once again. No, I don't like that. Okay. Yeah, again, I just said I didn't like this, but if we give this a border, well, can we give it a okay, here we go. So 1 pixel, it's default. And do we have the blue in our color presets? Yes, we do. So if we give this row a 1 pixel blue top border, it didn't even do anything, probably because I didn't save my change once again. Border, 1 pixel blue top. No, it did save, I think, that time. Still not seeing it. So something's hiding the border, or it could be an issue with Chrome actually. Like different browsers think differently about layout, and Chrome could be doing something that's eating that top border. So I'm just going to try it in Firefox. Not that it matters. I don't think this is like the best approach anyway. Yeah, I don't like that. Okay, or it's not that I don't like it, it's that it's not showing. All right, so what are we gonna do here? You know what we could do? We could make the background maybe not white, but maybe a very, very light gray, and see if we like that. So I'm just going to get rid of those. And then, yeah, a color I often use that's pretty close to white is F6 3 times. It's still maybe... Let's try F... No, that's too close to white. F7. It makes things a little more complicated because everything is either white, black, orange, or blue, and now I've got this gray. It's not terrible, though. Yeah, I'm spending a little too much time on this, but I'm just gonna... put that back to white. Really, the only problem is simply that this element bleeds into this element. We could make the FAQ white and the contact us, but then the white FAQ is going to run into the currently white footer. I mean, it doesn't look horrible here. You just don't want this kind of bleed effect. I think the thing that's least of an issue now, that of the options we found, I think the one that's like kind of least problematic is maybe just sticking a bottom border on this element. Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was a lot of indecision, but I think this looks okay. And again, I do like breaking up the like hyper blue thing that's going on this side. It's like you can really breathe if not everything is on this like, you know, hyper blue background. Okay, so back to the home page. Don't need all this blue. I mean, don't need that blue section, I think. And I honestly, yeah, I don't think I'm going to use all this. So we have our home page thing with way too much space at the bottom, probably because that thing I just deleted needed the space. We've got a white section and a blue section. I think that's nice. So let's clean this up and figure out why it's got insane top and bottom, insane bottom padding. Okay. Yeah, that's better. It's actually still more than we need, I think. Like, does it need to be this? What if we shrink it a little bit? Why don't we say 100? Is that too crowded? 150? Yeah, I think that's better. It's just, yeah, it's not so like over the top. You don't have to scroll forever to actually see content. Okay, this is feeling good. It's like when I breathe, when I look at the homepage, I can breathe. It feels clean. That's just my design sense, but it feels good. And again, this is a pretty simple site at the moment, so we don't need 50 million things. You know, it's pretty much the site is a homepage and an about page. It describes what the thing is, and then demos, which we have yet to create. Okay. And, you know, again, like I like to stay away from this many letters in a row. Like design wise, that's just not kind of how you're supposed to be crafting your sites. But honestly, when I look at this, something about it feels good to me. Like it doesn't feel silly when I look at it. So I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to mess with trying to get it, you know, more more in line with what you're actually supposed to do, which is have your text rows be more like 700 or 800 or maybe at the most 900 pixels wide. So yeah, we're going to leave everything 1200 wide and we're just going to live with it. Okay. So we need something for this section. And then watch demos now. So we're going to change this button, and I like the little arrow. I think I might want that arrow on all of our buttons. So I wonder how they did that. So I'm gonna first, the link is gonna be the demos page. The icon, okay, nice. So that's a little icon, a little right caret. So and let's just see the size. How does, so it's got a set width, which I don't think I like that. I think I like to do it more in terms of padding and stuff. So let's see how we did this one. The width is auto. Border size, oh, while I'm here, I'm gonna select an icon. Right. And which one did they choose? That's the question. Maybe that one? Font awesome 5 solid? No, I don't think so, because doesn't seem like it really matches. What icon is this? Okay, so I think it's this one. If I canceled, it's this ultimate icon. So I'm going to click that. Then I'm going to cancel and see if anything changed. Oh, it did change. Okay. So it's not that one. Which one is it? Maybe this one? Nope. Maybe this one? No. This is so crazy. They should have maybe the font awesome solid one. I don't think so. This is so crazy. They should have a way to give you the name of the WordPress dash icons. And then I'm going to hit cancel. Yeah, it's the WordPress dash icons one. So replace with the WordPress dash icons one. Yeah, I like this. I just feel like it's kind of, I don't know. I like it. Now, how did we do spacing on this one? Because we want the spacing to be the same. So we did typography. What was it? Advanced? No. General? Okay, style. Colors, width is auto. Typography, did we put any sort of, no? Style and spacing, yeah, spacing is what? No, this is just for the font style. This is just to style the font. What am I missing here? How did we get this button to look like this instead of like this? Style is transparent. Width is auto. It's got an icon. Okay, I am very, very confused at this point because I'm not seeing where like the paddings and margin on this button got set. But you know what I'm going to do? Rather than try to figure it out, I'm just going to drag this entire button over here. I don't see why not. And then, okay, what's the problem? The problem is that the text is white, which is easy to fix. Yeah, it's even got that kind of, okay. It's got a hover effect, which I don't know if we really want. It's a little bit, but we'll try it first. We'll watch demos now. Okay. We'll show you how. Great. We'll show you how. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with the hover effect. I actually like to keep like JavaScript effects, like those kind of effects off of my sites as much as possible, because they make it feel kind of slow. You know, it's like it kind of feels like wading through like thick slush or something. I mean, this is just me, but it also gives a little bit of interactivity. I think people really like it, so yeah, I'm cool with it. All right, so what do we want down here? Let me help you grow your business. I don't know. I'm gonna leave that for later because we don't really need this third thing. Maybe we'll just make it a link to the blog section. So we'll just get rid of the spacing element here. What's new? Let me help you grow your business. News from whatever. This is fine. What's newest WP newest no code WordPress tutorials? Sure, that's fine. All right, now this is once again a heading. They did this, and I'm guessing it has, okay, so no top margin this time. That's weird. That's actually inconsistent. So, all right, so what we're gonna do once again is we're gonna go to modules, and we're just gonna do this in a text module, not a heading module, which is so much more limited. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Heading 2, give it a 15 pixel top margin. Tell everything inside it to be white. Save that, get rid of it. Probably don't need this button. We're gonna save that, and now we're going to do a posts or post carousel or post slider. Let's just sort of see how they come out looking. Now we've only got one post right now, so it doesn't really matter. But now we want this thing. Okay, just gonna publish and see how it looks. So why is it out beyond what should be the edge of the row? Does it have its own? It seems to be out beyond the edge. Is it its own row? It's not in a new row. Maybe it is in a new row. Oh yeah, it was in a new row. So if you see something breaking what you think is its layout, you might have accidentally created a new row around it. So that should solve that. You know what? I mean, I honestly think this looks okay. It's a grid layout. What would a gallery layout look like? No, don't like that. Oh, it's a carousel. Yeah, I don't like that. As I mentioned, like I don't like a lot of like slidey interactivity kind of thing. Let me just, of course, and then I, load up a slider. Yeah, don't want the slider either. I just wanted to see what the slider does. Posts. Is this going to be a little more on the simple side? Masonry layout or gallery layout? What does that look like? Looks bad. Columns layout. And there's one column or 3 columns. They're 20 pixels apart. Don't really need the author. Don't really need the date. And honestly, don't really need the content. Actually, maybe we do need the author and date. It's a little bit. Yeah, that's better. I like that. Okay, fine. So what this is going to do is it's going to eventually come into 3 columns. You know, as we publish more blog posts. And I'm going to do something important here. I only want 3 posts. So I don't want it going 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. I just want one row of the 3 most recent posts. You know what? I am actually going to go to the trouble to duplicate some posts so you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to add a plugin called, what's it called? Duplicate. Well, whatever. We're just going to search for duplicate because we want to be able to do, yeah, here we go. Duplicate post, 3 million installs, 5 stars. So should be good enough. We're just going to clone this post a bunch of times. So we're going to have a total of 5 articles. And we're going to bulk edit these 4 posts. What are we going to do? We are going to publish all 4 of them. Yeah, so this is what we get. The 3 most recent, and then we get like a little pagination bar. Now, I would kind of like to just get rid of the pagination bar. Can't actually remember if that's an option. But it's like, I don't want people to be able to browse the whole, the whole point of this is, I don't want people to be able to browse the whole section, the whole blog section. I just want them to see like the newest stuff. I don't want this to be like the blog section on the homepage. So, show search, what does that mean? Yeah, I don't know what that means, but okay, here we go. Pagination style, none. That's going to take off that pagination thing. And we're good. So this needs a little bit of space below it. I think it's a little bit crowded. I actually might need some text. Here's the newest below our here's the newest. Here are the newest updates and tutorials. I don't know. It's not great, but here are our most recent. Not great, but whatever. What's new? I mean, yeah, like these things are kind of silly. I mean, they're definitely something I never would have thought of. But, well, would the site be cleaner just simply without them? You know, I honestly think they kind of like, they add a little bit of like ornamentation in a way I kind of like. So if we're going to have them, we're going to need to have them everywhere, I think. I'm just realizing that. So I'm going to, so for a white background, what are we using? For a white background, we use blue, okay? So I'm going to duplicate this. Cool. I'm going to go ahead and put it above this. Get in touch. I mean, again, this is pretty silly. Like, it's pretty redundant. But actually, you know what I'm going to do? And this is a good thing to show you as well. I'm going to save this. I'm going to save this as a reusable module. Blue above header element. And I'm gonna save that and publish my changes just to get out of that. I'm gonna discard my changes here because I want to start over. And what I'm gonna do is I am going to go to saved, and I'm going to take blue above header element. I'm going to drop it in here. We've got that saved module. And then so we know that the styling is consistent between the home page and here. So what do we say? We say get in touch. And you know what? It's actually bothering me more and more that these are H6s. It's just not right. You're not supposed to have headers out of order like this. So I am going to have to go to the trouble of just making these just text. And I'm going to have to replace it everywhere on the site, which is going to be pretty like boring, but hopefully I can do it really quickly. So what do we got here? It's an H6. It's got 15 pixels of bottom margin and 15 pixels of top margin. The font family is whatever now what size is this? 15 pixels? Yeah, so it's 15 pixels, and the font family is whatever the header font family is. I think it might be Montserrat, but I'm not sure. No, that's just the font for everything. Okay, so we say bold. Is this, or do they have an ultra bold, extra bold? Those all look the same to me. So yeah, I think this is the same thing. We just need to make it 15 pixels. And then of course we need to color it. We're going to use our blue color preset. Okay, so that's good on the typography side. Now we've got 15 pixels of top margins, 15 pixels of bottom margins. How did they do the little gray thing? How did they do that? Oh, wait, no, 10 pixels of top margin. Ugh, this is so stupid. All right, 10 pixels of top margin. And then the text itself has a 15 pixel bottom margin and the text itself has a 15 pixel bottom margin, okay? So the text itself okay, so it's got a 15 typography. Okay, this is going to be hard because we've got the text. Well, let's just say 0. Yeah, so we've got the text. The header actually has a 15 pixel bottom margin. And then where did they get this little gray thing? How did they do that? Oh, so it's this. It's a separator. Is that why they use the heading? Is there any way to do this heading that doesn't have a header as its HTML tag? Because otherwise I'm going to have to create like a separator. Well, I guess I can do that. Let's see. And then the color is what? Separator. It's a line. It's between the header and the description. We're going to add this to the color presets. Excuse me. Sorry. I have a stuffed nose for some reason. CCD80A. All right. What is the width? So the style is solid. Style is solid. Thick is 3 pixels. Width is 3%. Okay, so 3 pixels, 3%. No margins or anything. And then I think what's happening is this has a paragraph, like this paragraph has a margin associated with it. So we're gonna have to do that instead. Yeah, and I think this looks about right. We could even say, no, we can't do it. Yeah, we can. So what is actually right? Is it like that? No, I don't think so. Is it like that? Maybe. So we're actually going to give a negative bottom margin to this text so that we can get the line. All right. And then, of course, we want to left align it. Then we can finally get rid of this H6. Now I'm going to have to do this for all of these. Also, yeah, okay, so we're just going to save. Save done. Now does this look... Huh, so it's inconsistent, weirdly. Does it look like the one on the homepage? sort of, except the H2 needs a top margin. Now do they look alike? Yeah, they're pretty close. All right, yeah, that's pretty close. So we're gonna have to go to this thing, and we're gonna have to say save as blue header, no, blue pre-header, no line. Okay, and then under saved, we actually don't want this anymore. Then we're gonna have to go to this thing, and we're gonna have to say, we're gonna have to save it as gray pre-header line. Okay. All right, and now we just need an orange pre-header line, and that should basically be this, except the color of it is our orange. That is one of our presets. Is the little line the same color? Yes, it is, right? Yeah. Well, let's see. It's hard to tell because it's on a different background. But yeah, I think it definitely is the same color. Yeah, I mean, this is maybe more detail oriented than I need to be, but you know, I want this site to be done right. I want it to be accessible. You know what? I don't think this should be a percentage. I think that's why it's inconsistent. Like, I'm very curious about this actually. Why is this line a weird width? 10%. Okay, so it is a percentage. It's just weirdly inconsistent. So we're gonna have to. So now we're actually all set to say, boom. Now we say WordPress without code. Yeah, again, I want the site to be accessible, and it just, you know, if you're building a thing, you might as well like understand as much as you can about it and have as little like jank as you possibly can. And yeah, so the percentage thing is stupid. That doesn't make any sense. So we're going to make it a pixel value, a consistent pixel value. And the pixel value should be 30. Yeah, I think it's like unobtrusive at 30. So it's 3 and 30. We're going to save this, but we're also going to go in and we're going to go to saved. We're going to delete this gray pre-header line because it's not what we want. We're going to resave this one as gray pre-header line. Okay. So we can now delete this. We can go here. We just need 15 pixels of top margin on this for it to look the way it's supposed to. Now we can go over here, delete this, add in a saved gray pre-header line. Oh yeah, and I shouldn't have made this orange, I should have made it blue. So we just go to saved blue pre-header line. Okay. All right, now this one needs an orange pre-header line. Well, an orange pre-header, then it needs a gray pre-header line. Yeah, I like that. And then this needs 15 pixels of top margins. Then this needs to say, ask us anything, right? Or something. Why not? Why ask us anything? Or your question. I mean, whatever. Nobody's going to be really reading this. They just sort of add a little bit of. Yeah, I've never used something like these before, but again, I think they add a little bit of visual interest to the site. Oh, we need to fix this one. So we're going to go here. I have a sneaking suspicion that this is incredibly boring to watch. It's actually extremely boring to do as well, but whatever. Building websites is boring if you didn't know that. That's a good time to find out. Okay, so now we got all this going, and then we get rid of this, and then we get rid, okay, that's where it's supposed to be, and then this has already the margins it's supposed to, which is awesome. Then we got this, we got this, we got that, and we're good. So now we have no H6s where they're not supposed to be. All the lines are the exact same width. So however long that took, it was worth it. Except this one's broken, so I screwed that up somehow. So we're gonna go back here, drop this on here. The text is your questions. I'm really not sure what happened there. It's like the text disappeared. I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened. But okay, it's fixed now. Get in touch. Oh, right. Whoops. And then this said about contact. How about FAQ? Yeah, I think that's good. Except that's in the wrong order. About, contact, and FAQ. I actually like that. I think that looks kind of cool. All right. Blue on white, orange on blue. Blue on white, orange on blue. Way too much space going on here. What is going on? 200, I don't know why. Let's just cut it to 80. Yeah, this looks good. I mean, it's starting to get that feeling where it almost feels like, kind of minimalist. Like, wow, there's not that much on here. And that's because it's a new site, doesn't have a lot of content, and it doesn't have a bunch of extra stuff like crowding it. So like that feeling where it's like, yeah, it's sort of like if you've ever done like, you know, pottery or something. You start with like this giant lump of clay, and at some point you're like, oh, this is just a small bowl. And like that's actually kind of a good thing. It means that you have actually created something. You don't just have this like giant lump of clay sitting around being unmanageable. I'm going to go ahead and delete all those extra versions of this thing. And again, you have to first move them to trash. Then you have to actually delete them. And so our blog goes back to being this one thing, nothing else on it. Our homepage goes back to just having this this one thing on it. Okay, now the watch demos page. I actually think I'm gonna, you know what I'm gonna do? Like the demos page is a page I created, but it's so like I don't want, you know, the other pages on the site to be nicely designed, and this is just like some sort of like white note, like letter page looking. I don't want it to look like an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with like stuff written on it when the rest of the site is actually pretty nicely designed. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, actually what I'm going to do, I was going to copy like this layout in Beaver Builder, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the entire page. This is another place where our duplicate or duplicate post plugin is going to come in handy. We're just going to clone this. And we've now got this as a draft. We're just going to delete the demos page entirely. We're going to quick edit this to be called demos. I'm going to update it. And let's just make sure that we delete this permanently so it doesn't cause problems. I'm actually going to, I'm going to leave these because we might want them again. Like without, I might want those without having to, re-import a bunch of demo pages if I'm curious what they did. So this page doesn't seem to exist. Okay, that makes sense. It's still a draft. So we're going to quick edit. We're going to publish, reload, and cool. So yeah, we're starting from somewhere, like design-wise. We're not just starting from like nowhere. So let's go to watch demos and let's get cracking on figuring out what this page is going to look like. See how it's done. Codeless WordPress demos. Too long. No code demos. So we're going to need another image for the background there. And this video is getting pretty long, so I'm going to cut it here, and we'll come back once I've done a little bit of an image search.